My name is Caitlin O'Connor, and I will be interviewing Ellie Lewis about her experience of the Martin Luther King Jr. assassination and the Baltimore Riots. Miss Ellie, how old were you, and do you remember where you were on April 4th, 1968, when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee?
Yes, I was 18 years old, and I was at home at the time.
And after Martin Luther King Jr.'s death, how quickly did the tension in the black community build up and result in the Baltimore riots?
It seemed to start pretty quickly, but I lived in the county, so we didn't have as much of a black population there, but as far as the city goes, it was fairly quickly.
Now, during the riots, there was a lot of burning and looting of local white businesses. Were any stores in your area affected by these occurrences?
Yes, they were down in central Towson, the central part of Towson. There was a gun shop down there that was broken into and set on fire.
All right. How did you feel about all of the fires and looting? Do you think that Martin Luther King's assassination could have been handled a different way?
No, I'm not sure this country's had that sort of a reaction to anything. I think that was the first time. How did I feel about it? It was pretty scary to watch it, but most of it I saw on TV.
Were you afraid to go outside at all?
No, not really.
One of the outcomes of the riots was that the government put in place a 7 o'clock curfew where no one could be on the streets unless you had a good reason, or you would be held at the Civic Center, which is now the Baltimore Arena. Did this curfew affect your day-to-day life?
It did. School was canceled. I was in college at the time, and school was canceled.
All right.
As far as the curfew goes, we couldn't go to work either.
So your parents' jobs were affected also?
No, my mom was a nurse, so she had to go to work. But people that I went to school with, we had store jobs, and the small businesses were closed.
Another outcome of the riots was that the National Guard patrolled the streets of Baltimore to try and cease the violence and fires. Were there any National Guard members patrolling where you lived?
No, not where I lived, but there were some up at Parkville High School.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a staging area, and they brought tanks up there, and I heard this from people that I was in college with. It was their neighborhood.
As a result of the rioting, there were 6 deaths and 700 were injured. Did you know any of these victims?
I did not.
All right. Well, thank you for your time and sharing your experience with me, Miss Lewis.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.